All right, we are recording.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the DeFi Soapbox. I am joined here by Mr. Michael Ray, the founder, the pioneer of Stable Fund. Also with me, I have Murdoch DeFi from Murdoch DeFi. He is going to be posting this little discussion, this little chat with Michael here on his YouTube channel. So make sure to check that out. I also have with me Jack from Jack's Passive Income, also live from England, much like Michael. I wanted to make sure that Michael felt right at home here with the fellow countrymen. So we definitely want some British accents going. So if you boys could just really turn it up to the nines, I know everybody loves a good British accent. So we want to make sure this is as entertaining as possible. And I know you guys probably got some jokes, so feel free to throw those in there. As of right now, and like I said, just a little housekeeping before we actually get started, we're up to 43 listeners, which is our biggest AMA yet. More coming in, 44. Michael, thank you so much, so much for coming on, man. I'm so excited. Full disclosure, myself and Murdoch are invested in Stable Fund. We are huge fans. Happy to have Michael on here, hoping to get to some good questions. But other than that, Murdoch, did you want to tell us about a little giveaway you and I are doing?
Yeah. So what we are going to be doing as far as a giveaway for this AMA, if you guys have been a part of our community for a little bit now, you always know that we try to do a giveaway on each AMA that we host. And in today's, what we're going to do, so after this AMA is over, we're recording everything. I'm going to immediately upload it to YouTube, and we will post the link to the YouTube video in the announcement channels here. But all you have to do is go to that YouTube video, leave a comment with your wallet address, and you could be entered in to win 2 S-Rocket tokens. So that's what we're going to be doing today. This is coming from my personal investment in S-Rocket, so I hope you guys love that. But I think that we are ready to kind of kick things off. And Ludo, if you wanted to kind of start that'd be great, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually kind of hoping because Michael, like I said, we want you to be comfortable. Mr. Countryman Jack, I know that you and I have been talking about Stable Fund the last day or two. Maybe we could get Michael here. Maybe you could ask Michael some more of the general questions so that we can go get started. Maybe give him an opportunity to kind of give an intro of what Stable Fund's all about.
Yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate that. And again, Michael, thank you for answering my questions yesterday. That gave me a lot of confidence, and I actually made the deposit quite late, being yesterday as well. Murdoch, I know you put in yesterday, so it was yeah, a coincidence we both got in, which is I've seen stable fund go around quite a lot, but recently over the past 2 weeks, I don't know what happened with, but loads of people just discovered it, loads more people discovered it, and that's where I've seen the majority of the videos. So pretty crazy. But Michael, my main sort of question really, and this is the biggest thing that I've been wondering since I invested yesterday, is I know you mentioned the we got the fiduciary wallet as well as obviously the contracts, and with the bots, are you ever going to publish? Or I know you've got the Dubai event coming up, which actually going to try and get tickets for and fly out to Dubai, which I've just come back from in the last couple of months actually. But are you going to show at that event or publicly online how much money the bots are actually trading with?
Yeah, definitely. So when it's live there, it's going to be like a live stream, and everyone's going to be able to see what the bots are trading. Now, bots really do trade different amounts on each given day. It really depends upon how the market is. Like today, I just got the stats for today. Today we did about 6.67% on the
Wow.
trades which we made because the
Jesus.
market was going right and left. So there are good days, there are bad days, but like on the bad day also, it's not that we're losing money. That's why the bots are there. The trader behind the bots is there. But definitely, we will be forecasting everything on the Dubai event, and that's why it's going to be such a big event, and it's only just exclusively for stable fund investors. I hope to get the tickets released maybe in next 3 to 4 weeks, if not before,
Perfect.
because I'm locking up the event place and everything. But again, as I say in captions, it's only going to be an event which is going to be going through if we sell more than 100 tickets, because I can't just have an event for 20, 30 people in an international location and be there. So it really depends on how many people come out to buy the tickets, and then we take it from there.
Well, Michael, I know you're in the UK as well, right? So we can
Mhm.
just meet up somewhere and you can show me if you like, or okay, man. But
Definitely. Listen,
no,
I've been talking to Crypto Phil about it, and I'm sure if a few guys from UK can come around and we guys can meet up. Definitely, that's up for a conversation.
no, that's awesome, man. That'd be great. Perfect. So my other question was more of just a clarification because I think this is how it works. But you guys pay out 1.5% a day, right? Some days you may make 10% on a trading day. some days you may make negative 5%, right? So I guess the 1.5% that you guys offer is an average of the trades over the months, right?
Yeah, so basically, you guys get 1.5% regardless. If we make more or less, that doesn't affect the user on the particular given day. So, in short, you're making 1.5 day, and if you're compounding, you guys end up making a bit more. That really depends upon how you guys are compounding and how many times you're compounding a day.
Cool, that makes sense. I think those are my main questions. Murdoch,
Cool.
did you have
Yeah.
any for Michael?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
no, yeah. So, I mean, I guess I want to kind of start by, I think, Michael, when we first met and we first started talking, this was before minor season. This was before all that stuff, right? And I know that this is
Table
something,
one time.
right. I know, yeah, exactly, right, yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that this was something that you were telling me that you're working on for a long time, but can you kind of give me like a high level overview of like what was the inspiration but like behind starting something like this?
Definitely. So, as I've said before, I hold a big chunk of Bitcoins, and that's been since 2010. I bought $20,000 worth of Bitcoin. So, I started going to these events in crypto. That's when I got involved deeply in crypto was in 2017 when the market peaked up and Bitcoin reached about 19, 20,000. So all that time it was like every country was having different crypto events, not just one, like maybe each country was having 50 crypto events. So I was going to Miami, I was going to sometimes in Japan, South Korea, China. And that's where I met this interesting guy in Japan in one of the events. And he's a very seasoned guy, about in his late 50s. He's a trader and he's also a professor for algebra by profession. And that's when we were discussing things. He was intrigued about getting into crypto, but he was more on trading side and how he can make things work. And I explained to him, hey, can we just go out? We went out. I liked him as a person, very humble. He liked me as well. And then we started talking, and then we started to work towards getting these bots. And it took us nearly 2.5 years to make these bots. And there was talent being hired from places like Serbia, US, for the devs who could actually create, because I'm not a dev. The other guy's not a dev. He's just a trader. So just like to get a full team behind it who could make it. And obviously we had some real problems when we were making it. Sometimes it would work, not work, but when we exactly fine-tuned it, it was like about a year and a half ago. Then I wanted to stress test it with all my money and stuff like that, which I was doing. I was making good money every day. And obviously right now it's capped with you guys at 1.5%, but we do end up making more on an average if it's taken like that. That was it. And then I obviously, Stable One, the V1 version had an issue, the looping issue, where some people got stuck. We
Right.
tried to refund as many people as we could with the Matics. Where we could not do that, we gave people S rockets and we made sure we refunded every one of the user which was affected. And then I had a small group of, say, 20 people, which I call Stable One soldiers. They were like always helping me, helping my other mods when some people would come and say, hey, you guys scammed, you guys this, because we never rugged, we never did any of that. There was a looping issue in the contract, which we acknowledged and said, hey, this is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I introduced this whole, just if you remember the stablefund.app beta version, which is the old website, just with the normal wallet connect. That website was just built for those 20 people and they were enjoying the profits and everything. And I think they tested the protocol for about 2.5 months, if I'm not wrong. Once that was done, I just was randomly chatting to this other YouTuber, DeFi dude, and I was like, hey, I've got something in this. And then he kept pushing me, like, hey, Noah, let me release this video. I want to show to people and this and that. And one fine night, I was like, okay, you just do it then. And then he did it, and there was no stopping after that. Like it just went berserk. It was never planned to make it public, nothing like that, but it just went that way. And once it went that way, then we obviously created the app. We made sure that people don't have, because I don't want to focus or target just people out of the DeFi space, because this is such a platform which can make people good money. And it's just like a fund, right? Like we're just like a fund, but it's just that instead of funds making so much money for themselves and having $1 trillion market caps, we are here like trying to make everyone else money as well. And plus we are making the money as well. Don't get us wrong. Like if we average say 2.5% a day, we are making say good 0.5% on people's money. That's what our interest lies in. And then the other interest lies in S-Rocket. That's why I didn't want to take the fees for the platform. The fee goes to S-Rockets. And now you can see the value of it. I think it's trading at $95, $90 today.
Yep.
There was a point S dollar was not even a dollar.
Mm.
So definitely all of these things is what got me really incentivized or working towards it. Now I've been approached by some good hedge funds out of the US who are ready to just come on board and put us under their banner if tomorrow SEC has to say knock our doors.
Right.
But it's just that these plays really go by numbers and not the numbers of funds we are managing. That's not the cost. It's about the user base. So they said once I'm at 100,000 users, they're good to come and acquire us, but I'll still be the management. I'll have the whole operations. They would just be like a board of investors and being invested in a company such that it's covered under the SEC regulations.
Right.
So we're just moving in the right direction, and we are at about 17,000 users right now, approximately. So we've done pretty good that way.
Yeah, definitely. And it's very interesting. Like a couple points that you mentioned is that from inception, Stable Fund was never intended to be like this massive platform. And that kind of falls in suit with, I imagine, the reasons why you guys really haven't done any marketing. And when I say marketing, I mean like the typical stuff that you see on in crypto and DeFi. So like your like paid Twitter stuff, paid YouTube stuff, like all that stuff, right? We don't even see that kind of stuff coming from you guys, which is very interesting. But yet here we are, 17,000 users, and you guys are continuing to grow like crazy, right? So that's very
And the key is no referral.
Right.
Even no referral.
Right, exactly.
70,000 users without referrals.
Right.
That's I don't think any DeFi platform has ever achieved that.
I would agree. Now you guys, I mean, really, Ray, you've kind of started this new meta in DeFi of these AI trading bots. Like, what are your thoughts and opinions, just as like as a whole on the subject, and where do you kind of see that going?
I'll be honest, this really becomes like that. If you remember when I launched Stable One, I was the first one to launch a high ROI on Matic chain, right? Then it came Matic Staker, that Staker, the other stakers. A lot of people came and then they went. This is what when people launch bot programs and they say, okay, we just were discussing about 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and we just came to this thing and we started trading. Listen, trading is not that easy. Even till dates, there are some days we have issues like, okay, no, we didn't make this much, but we definitely make more on the other days. So when, as I said on my last AMA with the other guy, when the market's moving more, we guys enjoy that day because we tend to make much more money and we save that money aside. And that's why, Jack, as I said to you, there's enough money in the fiduciary wallet just for those purposes. So there was a bad day to come, we can still have the money left there to pump it in. But as you asked me more, like I don't feel like these new seasons for this is coming because see, if you understand the DeFi space after those high ROI, people really started understanding that they were in all just losing money. No one was making money out of it. It's just that you will make some money in one project and then lose in the other one, then come as a winner. But at the end of the day, you'll be just coming back maybe lucky enough if you come up with your capital.
Right.
Now people have just said like, okay, now stable funds launched, they've done this. Let me ask you a question. Why don't these people go and launch apps? Why don't these people just get the technology which Stable One has behind it? Why don't you guys go and get the media publication Stable Fund had? It was all organic. We were on Yahoo, we were on NASDAQ, all of that. There was a competition, I think. I won't even call it a competition. There was a bot called, I think, what was it called? I'm not even getting the name. myfunding.network. I mean, I think they raised maybe 500, 600 PNB and then they just rubbed because there was nothing happening there. So now then there's some easy bot which has come, which is a different concept, but still it's just people have started getting these bots now. And now someone else also launched a project, which is like another trading, Matic pair and stuff like that. But I don't see, and I don't tell people not to join such projects, but I just want to tell people that it wasn't born overnight. I mean, Murdoch, you just said that I was talking to you about something big that I was working on. Like,
Right.
This is a project which I've been working close to 3 years for. So it wasn't just that I was born overnight and then this comes, because if it was born overnight, there's no way you launch an app within a month and you get so Like everything doesn't combine. You go to ask a developer to build an app for you, such as a stable fund app with staking, trading, and swap and all. They'll easily give you a timeline of 3 months, if not more. So we've achieved something because we have a good team behind us. And I personally believe in this. If you have a good team behind you, you can never fail.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That pretty much hits the nail on the head as far as, surrounding yourself with the right people, definitely is the recipe for success. And I can say with 100% honesty that I think I've tried to surround myself with people, especially in the crypto space. Michael, I know that we've been working together for quite some time, with the Murdoch brand and all the projects you've launched. So I can't tell you like how fulfilling it is for me to have seen exactly what stable fund can do, and the evolution of the kind of the DeFi space. Murdoch was talking earlier a little bit about how that the we are transitioning into a season of bots. I think personally. I mean, I know Optimus is doing well. You mentioned Optimus before. Um, do you think that bots are the next step in DeFi? Do you think that's what we're going to see? As we mentioned, miners, ROI dApps, those were kind of all the rage for a while. Tomb forks were the rage for all a while. Do you think bots are coming next, and that's what's going to dominate the DeFi space?
Definitely a yes, yes, yes. And again, I don't know how many of them are real bots and how many of just bots. Because in high ROI also, we had so many rug pulls and this and that. So just that definition of bots, I think they're just going to ruin it at the end, because we'll have bad actors everywhere where there's an opportunity to make money. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
But definitely the whole point is how secure it is. What is it? Now, everyone who talks about bots, like I started this language, I'm not going to give my secret sauce away, right? So everyone who asks, hey, what's the bot? What are you trading? Can you show this? No, we're not going to give a secret sauce. So I mean, like, it's the same lines you hear, and I sometimes have a laugh with my team members saying like, these guys are just fully going by what I say on AMAs and whatever I've just said, like on my Telegram groups. It's just exactly the same. But I'll tell you, listen, we guys do make mistakes. Yesterday we made a mistake, not me, one of our devs. So we sent S Rocket rewards yesterday, right? What happened?
About this.
The dev did was he started the script by mistake while he was sorting it and running it through this again. It's like a bot which runs the script, and he started from the below. Like the lowest holder of S Rocket got the highest reward amount. He got 99,000 Matic. That money is gone. I can't see that money because that wallet no one uses. There's another wallet which is with 40,000 Matics, no one uses. A lot of people came up front when he said, and they've transferred us the money. There's some people good in community, they've sacrificed their rewards for this. They said, okay, we are sending you this as a donation for this time. You've done so much for us. We're going to do it. So they're good actors, but they're bad actors. So like their money is stuck. So even we make mistakes. But for someone to say, hey, in 3 months I've launched a bot and it works, it definitely makes 2% a day, 3% a day, or 1% a day. I personally don't believe in that.
Right. And I have
say that.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Murdoch.
I was just saying, because I have bots that I play around with, and I've been doing it for probably the last 60 to 90 days, and they don't make anywhere near that. So I imagine the amount of time that you guys put into these bots to get them to be able to function like they are and be able to adhere to that 1.5% payout, which is
not just only that. You need to have ample amount of capital, as I always say. So Moloch, you've been doing, say, bot trading, and for example, if you put, say, $1,000 and you have another $10,000 just sitting at the back of it when the market flips,
right,
and you can have more leverage to it, you will always come out as a winner, right? So this is why when people ask these questions, hey, is this amount enough? You can handle it. We say yes because of the leverage. Now they start talking about compounding. If I compound $1,000 in a straight row for a year, I'm going to make this much. No one does all that because I ask this question to people: hey, when the Bitcoin hits 40,000, what do people do? They start cashing out, right?
Right.
Because they fear that it might just go down. So that's the same thing. No one's going to just sit down and compound straight for this days. And I got the stats from my backend, and I would say even as of now, we're into, I would say, publicly about 5 months, 5.5 months for stable fund.
Yeah.
There's maybe 1.5% or 2% on max side that people who are compounding, and they've also taken certain things out. There's only one person I know out of the whole stable fund who hasn't touched his wallet. He just keeps compounding. And I know that person personally through Telegram channels. Apart from that, everyone has been taking out profits. So we do not fear any of that. Compounding is going to get big and it's going to become a problem. And yes, only with the Matic chain it would have become a problem. That's why we migrated to BUSD as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to switch gears here a little bit because I know, Michael, that you have been doing the AMA route for the last 2 weeks. You've been selling your time to us so graciously. I do want to I want to ask you. I hope our questions have been a little more stimulating than the average AMA of this is how stable fund works. I would imagine that most people here kind of already understand exactly what they're getting into by investing with you guys because you have been so adamant about being vocal to the community. You really take care of the community. Just to think for a second, guys, I have to kind of give credit where credit is due here. Yeah, your dev made a mistake, and you sent a bunch of Matic to some people who maybe who didn't have as much S rocket as the next guy. But then to have those same members be like, yeah, I got a little extra Matic. Let me go ahead and send it back. That is unheard of. You do not have those kinds of communities in other areas of DeFi. Okay, in other areas of DeFi, it's every man for himself. So to have you sit here and tell us that there are actually people out there who are like, you know what? I believe in the stable fund vision. I believe in you, Michael. I believe in your team. I believe in the community. I'm going to go ahead and send this back is like the antithesis to what DeFi stands for about getting out ahead and making money, kind of at the expense of others. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Listen, it's all about in life, I believe in give and take, right? Like they see me as whenever I come on, I'm a very community driven person. So if my community suggests, hey, can we have this change, that change? We discuss it internally. If it does make sense, which most of the time it does, community is always right. As they say, the customer is always right. Like
Always.
you have to treat it like that. Otherwise, your hospitality just goes down. If you say, hey, start arguing, no, you don't do that. So we just keep giving them whatever they ask for most of the time, if it is in a fairness ask. Now, what happened yesterday? Obviously, I didn't stop the rewards. Like as soon as I got to know, and I was lucky enough that I got to know in a very early stage because when I was calling my dev, I said, "Hey, you started the script, but I didn't get the money because I hold about 9,000 S rockets, right? Personally, as a team." I was like, "What the fuck?" Sorry for my French, but I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" And then I said, "Stop the script, and then we'll figure out what's happened, right? Because otherwise, the money would have just keep going to the wrong people and in the wrong donation." And that's when I realized, but I didn't let it stop. I pulled out my personal Matic bag, I put it in, paid it, and then whatever I could recover. I mean, still out of the net loss in USD was $404,000. It wasn't a small amount, and I only could recover maybe $200,000 out of that. So I think they see all these things when the person is doing that much for the community and not stopping everything and doing stuff and keep going on. There's no way. I mean, on your AMA today, I can even say that like the next listing which is coming for SRocket is Gate.io. So that's one of the biggest exchanges which is in existence. So right, like we are doing a lot of stuff for the community, for the token, the stable fund brand, and as I told you, Murdoch, before as well, this is all an ecosystem,
Right.
and that's what we're going to be making. And we still have the Mimi Bros game coming in like a week's time. We had to delay that game because Apple changed their complete policy over play to earn games. Otherwise, they weren't letting it launch. So we had to tweak it from the very get go. And when that comes, that's linked to the farmhouse, Dragon's Den, everything. I mean, like that's why we called it Stable One Group Limited, because a lot of people would have just thought, and I got this sentiment from a lot of people, hey, you keep talking about Stable One, you should not, it'll impact something. No, I just tell you what the truth is. That's how I got into the DeFi space. And why should I not just say it just because people got stuck and everything? I mean, today some people have got lucky. People who got paid in S rockets were not even paid at that valuation. S rocket, I think 3 weeks ago was trading at $150. dollars So even someone who bought at $75 or $70 in pre-sale, because that's when we sold most, they're still in profit. And the rewards are phenomenal. Like if you see the rewards for the last two times, they equate to, it was 8.95 Matic yesterday. And before that, it was 6.25. So 8 and 6. So close to 15 Matic per month is what they're getting right now and holding a token, which is about $90 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that itself is about 20% in rewards. on top of stable fund.
Right.
That's a win-win. It doesn't get better than that. And I think that's kind of pivoting to what I think is coming to DeFi. As you mentioned earlier, bots are here. And making the trading bot happen is definitely coming. We're going to see all kinds of projects probably springing up in the next few weeks, probably the next few months too, about who are going to offer bots that quite frankly aren't going to have the stability that you guys are able to offer in any sense of the word, not just with the returns but also with the community and the support coming from you and your dev team. I wanted to ask one question specifically about the creation of this project as a whole. Murdoch can tell you some of the people probably in this AMA right now in our community could tell you that I am a huge nerd. Okay, I love Lord of the Rings. I play D&D. I'm a nerd. So whenever I heard you talking about how you met with I'm sorry, I think you said Japanese developer. When you met
trader. Yeah.
A trader, excuse me, and how like in my head I just thought of The Last Samurai. Okay, with Tom Cruise. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that movie. It's a great movie. I highly encourage you to watch it. I thought my man Michael is literally the Last Samurai. My man is talking to Japan, and he is going to come and swing in, and he is going to deliver us all from the evil overlords. But that's just kind of what I had going in my head. But back to the question, as far as the creation of Stable Fund, how you said these bots have taken 2 years to create.
Mhm.
What did that process look like? Whenever obviously, like you said, you're using your own money, you're testing the bot, you're trying to find the happy medium. We're going to be able to get really good consistency. What did that look like for you on a daily basis? Was it something you had to put time towards on a regular basis, daily, weekly, monthly, or were you just the guy kind of supplying the money?
I was supplying the money, but I was also very much involved in like a weekly basis of report of what's happening.
Mhm.
Because I'll tell you, listen, to create a product's very easy, but to keep a good dev team really working hard for you is the toughest thing which you can get. Because these
Yeah.
devs, they are divas. Trust me, they are the Madonnas of the world, right? Because they know they have the leverage over you when you're not a dev. So I had to go through devs from one place to another, and then the other won't want to work with the other. For example, when I went to Serbia, they didn't want to work with the devs from the US because A, time difference, B, they were like, oh, sorry to say, but they're like, these Americans are rude. We don't want to talk to them, and this and that. So it's
No.
just that it's micromanagement of things, right? You have to keep everyone happy. That's what in life, in any business or even any relationship, you want to make sure. You just want to be like a person who can make happy median with everyone. So that was my kind of main role into this whole thing. And that's what brought most of the success to the things, because there were days where everyone would get upset with everyone and they would be like, just let's shut this. I was like, no, let it go, let it go. What's the problem? Then I would communicate with one, then the other, then just make them like laugh, happy. We had events in the sense like I would just take my team, devs, call them, meet them maybe once in Canada, Serbia, everywhere. Like we took them out, but now they work all as a family. So it's not just that. And now we have a team of devs, which I used to use for my Stable One project as well. They came towards the front end of the things, but the bots and everything is with the backend team, which is mainly out of Serbia and the US.
Okay. And that kind of begs a question, because I've in everyone's head we always have these grandeur ideas, okay, about what we can do to affect change within whatever ecosystem we find ourselves, whether that's DeFi, whether that's IRL, whether that's in your local communities around. What kind of advice? And it sounds like you more or less just said it, but I want to make sure I'm really specific. What kind of advice would you have for somebody who is looking to try and get into a space where they themselves are in a leadership position? Is it keeping people happy? Is it being able to delegate tasks? What kind of advice would you have for somebody who's looking to get started in this space?
Honestly, I've always said like execution's key. I mean, don't fear yourself from executing on things, because if you do that, you're not succeeding.
Mm.
And otherwise, you'll just be happy with a 9 to 5 job if you can't be an executor. So just be an executor, go for things and listen to your gut, your brains, everything. It's a mixed ratio. I mean, sometimes I listen to my brain a lot, but sometimes I am in that situation where I want to listen to my brain, but my heart's asking me to do something else. So I have to go for that. I play my shots. I mean, it happens. For example, once I got upset, really, really upset on someone out of my team. And I was like, that's it. I'm not going to be talking to you anymore. You're fired, this, that, that. But then I was like, after a few hours, calmed down. I was like, no, let me reach out to him again. I have to give him another chance and everything. It wasn't my fault. It was that person's fault. Someone out of the tech team. But it happens. So you need to be like micromanaging things, and you have to be on top of things. Like I have a habit. Like I won't just leave my Telegram, not maybe not open my Telegram even like for 15 minutes. You won't see me offline for more than 15 minutes in a row. That doesn't happen. Only when I'm sleeping for like 6 to 7 hours, that's different. But other than that, I'm always there. So I'm on top of things. If something's happening, I know it. And then I go and command people. So it's again a leadership. If you have the leadership quality and you want to go for it, just make sure you're very well aware, you have the right resources, time, funds, key, and all of that. And that is a very good success in itself. And Ludacris, one more thing I want to say to you. I don't see if you've seen the Stable Fund video which we've made. Have you seen that one, which is about 12 minutes long?
Yeah, I think I have watched just about every single piece of media that I have seen on your guys' project. So yes.
No. So this is our own video which we made. I don't know if you've seen that. This is not
Okay,
like
maybe I haven't, but I'll watch
nothing.
it.
So that would really you'll really like the video when you just said about the movies and everything. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna send
Yeah.
you that video after the.
Please do. I will watch it absolutely. I heard you just say in that lovely speech you just gave about leadership that you actually leave your Telegram 6 to 7 hours at a time. Are you admitting right here and right now in front of the entire audience that you do in fact sleep?
Yeah, I do it. I do sleep. I do sleep good 6 to 7 hours.
Well, you guys heard it here first. Here on the DeFi Soapbox, Michael has to go to sleep 6 to 7 hours an evening. I'm glad we know that now. I mean, I think there were some people who were definitely questioning whether or not you have time to get some shut eye. Let me see what else I got for questions here. I want to make sure we get to the AMA guys. AMA questions, guys. We're in about 29 minutes at this point. Let's see. I asked you that. Okay. Here's one question. This is pretty much we're getting back to stable fund now, and this is my big theme, right? And everybody else has their opinion. This is what I care about the most. So I'm going to ask you a true or false question. Feel free to elaborate, but I want to make sure that we have quality content here. True or false? If something goes sideways with stable fund, if the world turns over and actually the world is flat, and airplanes start sailing off the edge of the world, there is enough money that you have control over to pay out everyone's initial investment.
True, as of now.
Well, I mean, how can you argue with that? You know what I mean? Like, if that answer is true, it's an immediate investment from me. You know, and at that point, I mean, Murdoch, help me out here, man. Help me wrap my brain around such an obvious investment opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, so to kind of shed some light on my backstory, I got in when you guys initially launched. I put my initial investment in for the 28 days, and then a lot of things were going on in crypto and DeFi, and I decided to kind of stable up and kind of sit on the sidelines for a while, still in a couple of projects here and there. But over the last, I would say, month and a half, well, maybe a little over a month ago, I got back into stable fund. And I mean, obviously my investment isn't as large as some others, but I would consider it's large for me. But yesterday I put about, I think like $36,000 into the protocol. And the reason why I do that is there's one like foundational rule that I always look for. Obviously, if you check all like the security boxes, I always look to invest in people rather than just projects. And that's what I see when I look at stable fund. I see a project that is well developed and is run by an extraordinary leader. So that's personally why I chose to invest. But I think one big question that I have that would maybe help eliminate some of the stress that other people might be under when thinking about investing, or maybe they already have invested. Have you guys done anything to kind of hedge against malicious attacks? Because I know that, there's been plenty of good projects in the DeFi space that do well. However, like sometimes it's not a matter of the project going insolvent or anything like that. It's just malicious attacks from bad actors in the space. So have you guys
Yeah.
done anything to try to hedge against that, or?
Definitely, definitely. So as I said, we have like a close to 40 dev team. Out of that, 5 people, and one is a senior security dev with an experience of 11 years plus, who is heading the security side of things for the protocol. So we are doing as much as we can, and we do get attacks. Like every second day, we are getting attacked by bots via on our Telegram, even on our website. So basically, if you go and see the subscribe form, they were attacking the bots there, and then we would just get like a DDoS attack. Websites are going to go slow and stuff like that. But we till now we've just been pretty good in covering all of that. The security team's robust. I have the security team is on a 24/7 cycle, so at any given point there are 2 people available. So there's a shift of 12 hour each, and that way, like the whole job they have is to just focus on the wallets, just focus on the bots, just focus on the attacks which might come from website side or anywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely great to hear, because I know that for me, that's one thing that that I love to see, and just kind of makes me feel a little bit better in terms of
And I'll be honest,
investing.
this will be this maybe is going to be more comforting to people. We're doing all of this to secure us, and also if we are wanting to maybe go and get acquired by a big fund in the future, we need to have these protocols in place. Right now, for example, we are making a marketing dashboard, which is going to actually it's going to be like an AI experience. It's going to tell people about what a pattern of our users are, what percentage of the users are they like investing, how much, when do they withdraw, and everything. And this all is being done just to make this company go mainstream. So basically, it becomes more of a corporate structure than just being a company out of DeFi space.
Right. So basically, what you're saying is that we're early, right? If that's the plan to take it that big, then
Yeah, it's pretty early. I mean, like, there's no early or late in stable fund because it's
sure.
like you're not
Right.
playing on a Ponzi-nomics. So, but definitely these are very early days for stable fund as a company to be known. I mean, we're just spreading the word right now. It's just going, and trust me, Murdoch, we don't even spread the word. Like all day long, it's people approaching us. Hey, can we do this, do that? Like, I'll be honest, most of our communities are US and Australia. I think there was one YouTuber who got us viral in Australia. Never, no interaction, no financial dealings, everything. I don't know where he came from, what he did, but we have a solid Australian community and stuff like that. And I really like that sort of things. Not that I'm against third nations or some people like that, but because these people, if they're there for a long time, they help educate the people who are coming from third world countries, right? Like
Right.
if they have questions, my mods don't really need to even answer the questions these days. The community answers for themselves, which is such a big thing. Like you don't see that in other projects. I mean, the only project I saw that was in Baked Beans, but that was only for a limited time period, maybe a month or 45 days, where people would be like answering for others. But other than that, I think StableFund's the only project in DeFi space where I see the community is answering all the questions which other community members or new community members might have.
Yeah. So you guys heard it first here. If for whatever reason you have answered or asked a question, and that doesn't get answered in today's AMA, then feel free to jump in their Telegram. I'm sure a lot of you guys are already a part of the Stable Fund community, but that is also a very good place to ask questions. Ludo, do you want to go ahead and let us jump into the questions from the community now?
Yeah, absolutely. Michael, I really appreciate all these answers, these candid answers, man. I know that Murdoch and I have been in the space for a little bit longer than some of the people here, so I wanted to make sure we had a chance to ask some really, really specific questions. Guys, I'll probably be kind of skipping over some of these questions as I know Michael here has answered these questions ad nauseum. Okay. I have listened to basically every AMA in preparation for this AMA with him, and he has answered some of these questions in excruciating detail on some of these other AMAs. So I'm going to try and kind of get to more specific questions that are there. If you have not had a chance to, if you do not get a chance to have your question answered, like Murdoch said, ask in their Telegram. Okay, they have so many admins and so many mods there that will be willing to answer your question, as well as you can also listen to. I think James Pelton just had an AMA with Michael here a few days ago. So if some of these more basic questions don't get answered, don't be offended. I just know Michael has answered a ton of these already. So let me look at here. I think I had one that was really, really good. Shadow analysis. Let's see what you had to say, sir.
He always kills it with
He said,
questions.
I know, bro. He shows up to every AMA. He kills it. 1.5% is considered a bit high, and I assume when he says considered a bit high, he just means in regular return on investment kind of terms. What is the anticipated runway for the protocol?
So see, again, 1.5% does sound a bit high compared to when obviously people are getting paid 6% or 5% rate of interest from their banks in certain countries. That does definitely sound. But in crypto, listen, things are very different. Like even with hedge funds and stuff like that, they do anticipate to make a lot more money on your money, but they never show the books because that's how they are so profitable. And in crypto, as of now, we're not having any issues seeing that. And again, I don't know if I didn't speak on this particular AMA, but we do have a diversification towards the third bot, which actually trades USD versus gold most of the time, and sometimes even oil and gas, depending upon which day. But definitely gold, which again has a huge market cap, and all day long, if you ask any forex trader and all, making 1 to 1.5%, maybe 2 on a good day is very nominal. It's not something which is out of the realms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So we have another question from up top. Like I said, guys, I'm just kind of jumping to and fro. What currency? This is a good question. What currency is the fiduciary wallet currently in? Is it in multiple stables or
USDT? Just USDT, straight USDT.
Okay, very, very good. Let's see. We talked about Dubai. We talked about, yeah, we already know that. We know it's not a Ponzi. Guys, if you're still asking if this is a Ponzi at this point, you know, there's
Listen,
a lot going on here.
we can't blame them. They come out of DeFi space. They've gone through hell.
Right.
So
I know it. I know it. You know it. I know it. Murdoch knows it. Jack knows it. All 99 of us know it. It's just funny at this point, you know, that question always seems to pop up in AMAs. Okay. Oh, excellent. Pocket Ace is my man coming in clutch. What kind of changes might you see made if the corporate buyout were to happen?
I mean, there wouldn't be much changes because my deal is very contingent upon me running the show how I want. But definitely, some might be some more new faces coming in, some new people joining the team. They might have some people from their own protocol coming in. Just a bit of things in management, but other than that, the protocols going to run the same way. Maybe gets better because you don't know what they get because this fund I can't name them, but it's a huge fund. It's under managing close to, I would say, 50 plus billion US dollars, and it's been around for since 1967. So it's a huge fund. It's not something which is a tiny bit of a company who is joining, not a boutique firm, none of that. They've got offices all over the world, so
Yeah.
it's quite big. So definitely there are going to be some changes, but the major changes on how things work, how to deal with the community and everything is going to be us, and that's how it will be.
So I
If
have
not,
Yeah.
then we won't sign up a deal with them.
right. I found a pretty interesting question. So another question from Shadow, and he says like with so many people investing in stable fund, and this is really kind of an interesting thing to think about. Do you see stable fund contributing to the price appreciation of Matic?
Uh, I won't say so. The only reason behind that is the Matic is kind of big with us, but I'd say BUSD is already surpassed Matic.
Right.
So there can be a thing, and obviously I've been talking to some people at Matic because I've had contacts with them during the time when we had issues with the stable one V1 version.
Mm-hmm.
About some partnership, etc. And they do know that we exist as a protocol, which was first to start with Matic and stuff like that. So we to gauge that, it can be a yes or a no, but I don't think we are that big that we can do. Not that big of a TVL right now with Matic that it's going to impact their price point.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be absolutely nuts if you did though. You know, I could see that growing to be something like that.
Definitely, we look forward to it.
Well, I mean, I hate to compare Polygon to Luna, but we all seen what impact Anchor Protocol had on that token, so it's kind of interesting to think about as well. Another question from Vornam: can we expect rewards from the play to earn game coming to S Rocket holders as well?
Definitely, yes. That's linked to the S rocket holders.
Awesome.
I'm excited for this game. I mean, obviously, like you said, you guys had to delay things because of Apple. Also, we kind of glossed over this fact, but I'll just make mention of it really quickly. Guys, if you didn't know, if you're living under a rock, Stable Fund is actually on the App Store. I know, like I said, that kind of hasn't been mentioned today, but that was also one of the big reasons why I decided to get in, because if these guys were able to get on the Apple Store and other app stores, that was definitely something huge to consider. But as far as the game, what kind of game is this going to be? Do you have any alpha on that?
Ask Murdoch. He's seen the game. He was the first one to see it.
Murdoch, what kind of game is this?
This was a long time ago. Wow, man. Do you want to, Michael? Do you want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so it's just that the game's called Mimi Bros. It's just like, in the old days, you used to have that Mario character with Mario who used to just run and earn points. And as soon as he gets hit by a car or mushroom or whatever in that game, you just like lose your life and then you have to restart your game. So it's just like that. It's pretty simple, but obviously it's got different levels, so it keeps getting tougher and tougher.
It's one of those games that is like, it's like hard not to play it. Like once you've already started, if that makes sense. It's very
yeah, addictive. Yeah,
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Once you're on your phone,
Yeah.
instead of just, let's put it like this: instead of your Instagram, you're just going to be playing that game because you'll be making money.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of what crypto is aiming towards. I know as a gamer myself, I'm sure some of the people in the audience feel the same way. But we've always thought, every person who's ever played video games in their entire life has thought at one point or another, if I could make money doing this, I would do it more. But ultimately, reality calls and says, hey, you know what? You're wasting time. You're not doing anything with your life. You're just playing this video game. So to actually have a real life utility where eventually this is going to be, making money for people who are actively playing, that's definitely a positive. That's definitely a good thing to encourage players.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's take a look. Let's try to get one or two more questions here.
Yeah, I think I have one from Keith.
All right, go ahead.
Which is I feel like a good question. So I know that you guys have obviously added multiple tokens to be staked within Stable Fund. So yeah, I know you started with Matic. You've now launched the BUSD and the BNB side of things. Will there ever be staking released for S Rocket?
Yes. So as I said in the last AMA, we're still discussing on how the payouts are going to work for that. It's still in discussion.
Mhm.
By end of this week, we should be making an announcement on that, whether that's possible or not, and if possible, then what currency the payout's going to be.
Right.
So because we can't do it with S rockets because the supply is too small, it's only 100,000 token supply.
Right.
So definitely it's in works, and we're working towards that. But apart from that, there's no other currency we're going to be launching. And to add to that question, we only launched BUSD from the fear that the Matic supply chain is not big enough, and if this whole thing goes the way it is going, it might become a problem one day.
Right.
And then when we launched BUSD, people started asking for BNB. The reason was you need BNB to transact BUSD through our app.
Yep.
And that was the only reason we launched BNB. So there was going to be no other currency apart from these, only S Rocket, if that can go through. Other than that, we won't be launching any other chains onto the platform.
Awesome. Sounds good to me.
Well, at that point, I think we've pretty much hit most of the questions. Mark, did you see any other questions you thought might deserve a shout out?
I think we covered a lot of them, man.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So what I want to do now, Michael, like I said, you've been doing the marketing rounds for AMAs for quite some time now. I'm sure you're tired. Is there anything at all? And if you have to think about it for a second, that's totally fine. I'm a great beatboxer. I can say, get us some time. Is there anything at all that you want to convey to the community of Stable Fund as a whole? It could be anything. Could be something small. Could be something large. Anything at all.
Listen, you guys are just like as my family now. There's so many names even on your screen today, which I know are from my group. Like the guy Vernon, he's from my group and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just like we keep serving you. You keep just giving us the same respect which we give. This is what we want, and we're here to stay. We're not here to go. We have some new UI UX changes coming up on or before 28th on the whole dashboard. It's going to become much, much, much more user friendly. We have the integration with Coinbase coming up. Another card company I spoke to, which is looking very positive. So maybe that's coming up soon as
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on, Michael. I'm such a big fan. I'm not going to keep you any longer. Otherwise, if you guys have any questions, make sure you direct them to the Telegram. We were able to try to get to as many AMA questions as we could today. The Telegram is there. Michael, I hope to have you on again, man. I mean, this has been an excellent turnout. It's clear the community is there and the community is behind you. Keep leading the good fight, man, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to you very soon, okay? But Jack, do you got anything you want to say?
No, surely.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
No, nothing
Speak to
else,
you
man.
guys soon.
All good. Michael, thank you for answering the questions. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Luto, as well, for inviting me on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Right on. What about you, pal?
The last thing I just want to, I know that a lot of people came in here after we made the first announcement, but immediately after I end this AMA, this video is going to be uploaded to YouTube. And all you have to do is go to that YouTube video. We will post a link in the announcements of the Soapbox Discord. And if you go to that video, you comment and leave your wallet address, you'll be entered in to win 2 S-Rocket tokens coming from my personal wallet. So other than that, Michael, thank you so much, boys. Thanks so much for joining us all.
Thank you guys, especially Ludo and Justin.
Yeah,
we joined
yeah.
Discord.
we broke your Discord share. That's funny. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for showing up. We're gonna go ahead and end it here.